Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Hari Om. Welcome to Lahari Cultural Learning. We will be starting every session of the Bhagavad Gita with the Gita Dhyana Shlokam. And for the benefit of viewers, I am sharing the same. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Om Pathaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshiniim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavatveshinim Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullarvindaaya Tapatra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajwalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraika Panaye Jnanamutraya Krishnaya Gitamrita Duhe Namaha Sarvopanishado Gavo Dogdha Gopalanandanaha Pato Vatsasudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gitamritam Mahate Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Bhishmadrona Tata Jayatrata Jala Gandhara Nilotpala Shalyagrahavati Kripena Vahani Karnena Velakula Ashwathama Vikarna Ghora Makara Duryodhana Vartini Sotirna Khalu Pandavairananadi Kaivartaka Keshavaha Parasharyavachah Sarojamamalam Gitarthagandhotkatam Nanakyanaka Kesaram Harikatha Sambodhana Bodhitam Loke Sajjana Shatpatairaharaha Pepiyamanam Muda Bhuyad Bharata Pankajam Kalimala Pradvamsina Shreyase Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangun Langayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavai Vedai Sanga Padakramopanishadai Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyana Vatsita Tatkatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantam na vidussura suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Hari Om. Today we will have a very interesting discussion about the art of right activity. So all of us in our lives always are into some kind of action and what we call as karma in in Bhagavad Gita. But actions, we always have goals for our actions. Without goals, there is no action. So what kind of attitude must we have when we perform actions is going to be today's topic. Many times, many of us feel that everything is predestined. So if everything is predestined, why do we act? And many of us feel that everything is in our hands. We want, we can do it. Where there is a will, there is a way. So everything is there in our hands, then why God? And what is the attitude in which we have to do actions? How do we take success and failure? All this comes under the umbrella of the art of activity. And today Mataji is going to talk to us about the art of right actions as said by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Before that, I would like to have the chanting. I'll be sharing the... Yes, Mataji, can we have the chanting?
Yeah, we can. Shall we start?
Yes, Mataji, we can start.
कर्मणो ह्यपि बोधव्यं च विकर्मणः अकर्मणश्च बोधव्यं गहना कर्मणो गतिः कर्मणो ह्यपि बोधव्यं च विकर्मणः अकर्मणश्च बोधव्यं गहना कर्मणो गतिः कर्मणो ह्यपि बोधव्यं च विकर्मणः अकर्मणश्च बोधव्यं गहना कर्मणो गतिः
कर्मणो ह्यपि बोद्धव्यं च विकर्मणः अकर्मणश्च बोद्धव्यं गहना कर्मणो गतिः
श्रेयान् स्वधर्मो विगुणः परधर्मास्त्वनुष्ठितात् स्वधर्मे निधनः श्रेयः परधर्मो भयावहः श्रेयान् स्वधर्मो विगुणः परधर्मात् स्वनुष्ठितात् स्वधर्मे निधनं श्रेयः परधर्मो भयावहः श्रेयान् स्वधर्मो विगुणः परधर्मात् स्वनुष्ठितात् स्वधर्मे निधनं श्रेयः परधर्मो भयावहः
श्रेयान् स्वधर्मो विगुणः परधर्मात् स्वनुष्ठितात् स्वधर्मे निधनं श्रेयः परधर्मो भयावहः
कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूः मा ते सङ्गोऽस्त्वकर्मणि कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूः मा ते सङ्गोऽस्त्वकर्मणि कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूः मा ते सङ्गोऽस्त्वकर्मणि
कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूः मा ते सङ्गोऽस्त्वकर्मणि
योगस्थः कुरु कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा धनञ्जय सिद्ध्यसिद्ध्योः समो भूत्वा समत्वं योग उच्यते योगस्थः कुरु कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा धनञ्जय सिद्ध्यसिद्ध्योः समो भूत्वा
सिद्ध्यसिद्ध्यो समो भूत्वा
समत्वं योग उच्यते.
समत्वं योग उच्यते।
योगस्थः कुरु कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा धनञ्जय सिद्ध्यसिद्ध्योः समो भूत्वा समत्वं योग उच्यते.
योगस्थः कुरु कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा धनञ्जय सिद्ध्यसिद्ध्योः समो भूत्वा समत्वं योग उच्यते। Over to you, Mataji. You can start the session.
Hari Om Vasudha. So today's topic is the art of right activity. When we get into activity, anything going wrong, we feel that it is because of the interaction, it is because of the action that, the problem is starting. So then we feel that, okay, this type of action is not helpful, so maybe I would have acted differently, or this action we should not do. Suppose we are not getting along with somebody, we stop all the channel of communication with that person, and we feel that the problem will be solved. But when we start interacting with others, we are in the same soup. So what we should do, what we should not do, or whether we should take to complete inaction. Because any action will have consequences. It will have its own influences. Sometimes it will be good, sometimes it will be bad, sometimes it will be mixture of both. So, karmanaha hi api bodhavyam. The truth about action must be known. Vikarmanaha cha api bodhavyam. And the truth of inaction also must be known. And truth about prohibited action, vikarmana also must be known. Because the ways of actions are mysterious. This is what Lord Krishna is saying. The ways of actions are mysterious because when we do any action, it is in our control. But how it is going to impact me and others around, it is not completely in my hand. There are many factors contributing to it. So, whether we should take to a karma, whether we should take to inaction at all also is a question. Even if we decide to take to inaction, whether it is possible, that also we have to understand. So, what is karma? Karma here is prescribed action enjoined by Shastras. Any actions which are enjoined by Shastras, like do good, don't harm anybody. So all the vikarma will come under prohibited action. Don't harm anybody, don't cheat anybody, don't follow the path of adharma, immorality, etc. Then akarma means inaction. Normal days we eat 3 times a day, but the day we are fasting, that day we don't eat, and we call it fasting. But the day we are not eating, we think more often about the food, and it takes more energy to remain hungry. So, in action. So, what is the action? We are fasting. That means we are not eating. So, not eating is equivalent to, or it amounts to, doing more work than eating in reality. If somebody slaps us, to slap him back is action. But If we decide not to slack, that takes more strength. That calls for more mental power. So, is inaction possible? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that nobody can remain inactive in this whole universe, including a tiny particle, because Prakriti is making everybody active. She sees to it that nobody is inactive. So, what action we should do and how to do it? Huh? Now, from the childhood, we have heard or we have been taught Satyam Vada, Dharmam Chara. That means speak the truth, isn't it? Speak the truth. That means don't lie. Huh? Now, if we are walking on the road and we find that one lady is being chased by one criminal and she enters a house to protect herself in front of my eyes. After some time, the criminal comes and he asks me, have you seen a lady here? What will be my answer?
I have not seen.
Obviously, we will know I have not seen. So, the Satyam Vada, have I fallen from that? Have I fallen from Dharma? Everybody will say no. Even a child, when we ask a child also, the child also says, we will say no, we have not seen. And why? Because we have saved the life of that lady. So the same action becomes dharma or truth or satya in a particular situation. In some other situation, the same action becomes akarma or vikarma, isn't it?
Correct.
So any action is judged by its aim and attitude. Why we are doing, how we are doing, what is the purpose, what is the intention with which we are doing it. So, if we talk in external form that these actions come under karma, that means prescribed actions by our Shastra. And these are the list of prohibited actions by our Shastra. The answer cannot be in black and white like this. That means we have to go deeper to understand. That is why it is said, Gahana Karmano Gratihi. The Swarupam of the Karma, the essence of Karma is very subtle. We cannot understand superficially. So how do we understand which work I should do, which work I should not do? So obviously, when all the actions are cannot be when all the actions cannot be colored by good, bad, or indifferent, then definitely it has something to do with the person who is doing it, the doer, isn't it? Because one particular action may be prohibited for me, but it may not be prohibited for you. It may come under the prescribed action. So, to discuss that subtle point, Krishna has spoken in the next shloka that we chanted, Shreyan Swadharmo Vidunah Paradharma Swanushthitat Swadharme Nidhanam Shreyah Paradharmo Bhayavahah. One's own duty, though devoid of merit, is preferable to the duty of another, even when well performed. Even death in the performance of one's own duty brings blessedness. Another's duty is fraught with fear. Isn't it? Huh? One teacher was reading a book, How to Teach Children in School. It was a ready reckoner. And sometimes she used to read in the classroom also. So one child noticed it. And so one day he caught hold of that book. The child caught hold of the book and he started reading. So teacher smiled and she asked, "Why are you reading this book? Do you also want to teach?" He said, "No, no, I want to check whether you are teaching us properly." So we can laugh it out because it has been done by a child in utter ignorance. But this is where we cross our Swadharma. So what is Swadharma? Swadharma is a lifestyle that is conducive to my state of life, my nature, my orientation, my sense of duty without any conflict. That is Swadharma. Swadharma. What is Swa? Swa means me, myself. Am I this body? No. Am I this hand, feet, mind, intellect? No. I am beyond this. So what is Swadharma? I am a body-mind complex, individual personality. I have an orientation. I have a bent of mind. I am made of three gunas. In different personality, different gunas are predominant. In Arjuna's personality, the Rajas guna was predominant. He was Kshatriya. He had come to battlefield with a view to fight and win the war. That is why he asked, "Kair maya sah yodhavyam asmin rana samudyame." Please place my chariot in the middle of two armies. I want to see with whom I have to fight. And the next moment he crumbles. Not only that, he says, "I will take to the life of inaction. I will take to the life of inaction. I will do bhiksha vritti. I will do begging. I will do, I will take up sannyasa." Now, at this point of time, are we to debate whether sannyasa is a better way of life, or are we to understand whether Krishna was ready for it? Isn't it? So, because Krishna was a Kshatriya, he had an active mind. The Rajas was predominant in his personality. So, he was not fit for a contemplative life at that point of time. So, what was Arjuna's Swadharma? Arjuna's Swadharma was to fight the war. And while fighting the war, even if he died in the war field, he would have got a glorious farewell, isn't it? This is the meaning of Shreyam Swadharmo Vigunaha. My own duty is better than others' duty. And even if I die doing my own duty, discharging my own Swadharma, that is glorious, that is respectful. So, we should not entertain conflicting thoughts, conflicting desires, crisscross thoughts. We should be focused in our own duty because action is a means to gain greater good in life. Actions by themselves are not the end in life. We are using action as a means to gain something higher. isn't it? So, which type of action I should do, it depends upon my own orientation. And in long run, that alone will help me. There's a very funny story. There was a watchman, and one morning when his master was going out for a travel, the watchman greeted him and told him, please don't travel today because in my early morning dream, I have seen that the plane by which you are supposed to travel has crashed. Now, if we are going to drink a cup of tea and somebody says, please don't drink, there is poison in it, what will we do?
You won't drink.
By all means, we will throw the tea. We will not even take the chance. So, his master, he did not travel today. And very strangely, the plane also crashed by which he was supposed to travel. So, this rich man thanked the watchman. He called him and he awarded him. He rewarded him, gave him money, and he also chucked him out of the job. Why did he do this?
He was asleep.
Because as a watchman, he slept. Yeah, then only he dreamt. So what we say that swadharme nidhanam shreyah paradharmo bhayavahah. When we fall from our own duty, from our own swadharma, paradharmo bhayavahah, and we do something else, we are going to lose our job. And if a soldier, he dies for the sake of the country, fighting the enemy, that is why he is honored even after his death, isn't it? So, Shreya Swadharmo Vigunaha. We should not entertain crisscross thought. There may be engineers, there may be doctors, especially for students. Nowadays, we see which profession is going to fetch more money in least time. But we also have to see whether I am fit for it, whether it will work for me. Because earning money is not the only goal of the life. We are earning money to achieve something else in life, isn't it? So, which action we should do and which path we should take? Arjuna, when he wanted to run away from the war field, Krishna is telling him, Karmanye vadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbuhu ma te sangostva karmani. He is telling Krishna is telling Arjuna, you came here to fight the war. Now you say that you want to take to a contemplative life. You are not matured enough. Karmani eva te adhikara. We say that you have only right to action and you have no right to the result of the action. What does that mean? It is not so straight. Here, the word adhikara means the yogyata, the fitness, the maturity to do the action. Lord Krishna is trying to tell that Arjuna, you are not fit enough now to take to the contemplative life. Your mind is, your personality is Rajas dominant. You are given to activity. You have prepared yourself to fight and win the war for 13 years. Unless you go through it and you become mature to take to contemplative life, you will not be able to do justice to that life also. So you are not yet ready. So adhikara means the fitness. Ma phaleshu kadachana. But when we do any action, the action we can do, but the result of the action completely is not in our hand. Lord Krishna is saying that, Arjuna, you have the fitness, and according to your fitness, you also have the freedom to choose which action you want to do. So there is a free will also. But free will also is within a given circumstances and within a given limit. Suppose we have boarded a train. After boarding the train, we have a free will to walk over the train, inside the train, here and there, sit there, go to bathroom. All that much freedom. Within the limit of the train, we have the freedom. But to whether we want to get into the train or not is our choice. But that choice will depend upon our orientation, my financial condition, how much time I have. If I can afford and if I have less time, I may not go by train, I will go by plane also. Ticket should be available. So we say that karmani eva te adhikarah. We have the choice. We have a depending upon the fitness, my own orientation, we are free to make a choice. But after we make a choice, we get
Yeah.
we have a freedom which type of work we want to take up according to our own capability, our own orientation. Okay, but what type of work I choose, that in turn will again depend upon my own background, my own nature, isn't it? So there is a freedom of free will, but that also is within the cane of nature. I have to decide which work I want to do. It has to be within the frame of my nature and righteousness. It should be legitimate. It should not be vikarma. It should be karma. It should not be prohibited action. Okay. Suppose a set of parents, they want to decide, they decide to have a child. And the would-be mother conceives. But they cannot decide the, what type of nose, eyes, and face cut will be for the child. After the child is born, whether the child is completely healthy or not healthy, whether the child will live long, whether the child will not live long. So many factors are there that is completely not in their hand. So Krishna is saying that we can decide to do an action, but the result of the action is not completely in your hand, Arjuna. Whatever may be the result of the action, you can contribute partially to that result, but you are not the determining factor. You cannot determine, you cannot decide. So in this whole life, whatever action we do, wherever we do the action, we have to focus on discharging our action properly with complete sincerity to the best possible capability I have been given by God, but have the right attitude towards the result of the action. What is the right attitude? Always remember that there are many factors that contribute to the result of an action. My action is one of the factors. Rest is not in my hand. So, karmanye vadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana means have the right attitude towards the karma and have the right attitude towards the result of the action also. Ma karma phala hetur bhu. Don't have clinging or don't have the preferential attachment to a particular type of result of the action. The result of the action should not be the motivation for you to do the work. Isn't it? Can we start a business thinking that I will do a business only when I get the profit?
No.
We hope and we can plan, but we have to be ready for the loss also. So, profit, isn't it? To gain the profit is an aim, but that cannot be the inspirational factor to do a business. A job interview is going on. There many candidates have come. Okay. One candidate is sitting outside for his turn to come and he is getting lost in imagination. If I get this job, I will get one lakh of rupees. Then I will buy a car. Then I will do this and I will do this and I will do this. And another candidate next to him is sitting and he is researching about the company in the website, company's website, and he is trying to understand what is the need of the company, what type of people they are looking for, what should be my orientation. This is the difference between when we preferential attitude towards the result of the karma. Then we are not able to focus on planning
Correct.
and discharging the action properly. So who is going to get the job if everything goes on well? The person who has invested his time and energy in proper way. This is what happens. Ma karma phala hetu bhu. The result of the action should not be the motivation for you to work or to fight the war, O Arjuna. Arjuna came to battlefield to fight the war and to win the war. When he saw his own grandfather and teacher, what did happen to him? He lost sight of the aim of the war. It became a personal problem for him, isn't it? So, when we are focused on the broader aim and purpose of the work, the result of the action follow us. We don't have to follow them. It works otherwise. maybe we will stop. So, Mark,
Yes, Mataji.
yeah. So don't get motivated by the attachment of the result of the action. If we had kept water for boiling, we don't have to stand there and think additionally that water should boil, water should boil.
Hmm.
If the gas is burning well, we have placed the water well, and other factors are in place, definitely water will boil. So, Krishna is not saying that don't have an aim. Without aim, even a stupid person doesn't work. Animals also have aim, but their aim is very limited. What is their aim? They go by their instinct. They do any action in order to preserve their life, either to gather some food or to save anything. But human species, humans are gifted with intelligence, viveka buddhi. So, at no point of time we should take to inaction. That is why Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna that have right attitude towards karma, have right attitude towards the result of the karma. Don't get attached to the result of the karma and take it as motivation to do the karma. Failing everything, don't take to inactivity. Don't be the lover of inactivity because that is the most natural thing to happen. And Prakriti will not leave you. Sharira yatra pichate na prasiddhet akarmanah. Even to preserve this body, we need to be active. Externally also, if we stop acting, inside the organs will work.
Correct.
So don't be the lover of inactivity. Generally, we withdraw from the action when we don't like anything. So we should not do that because our action is one of the contributory factors in the whole design of the universe, and we have to play our role. Then ultimately, how do I do the action? If I do good action, it will give me punyam. If I have punyam, it will give me happiness. If I do bad action, if I do bad action, it will generate papam. That will make me suffer. And it will go on and on. But now we have understood so far that it is not so simple. We feel that it is a straight line of cause and effect. But what we experience in our life is not very simple. So we have to understand the nature of karma. When we know the nature of karma, then only we are liberated. So we have to use action as a medium to become liberated. We are not doing action for the sake of the action. It can be anything, wherever we are, in whatever state of life, age, place. Accordingly, we have to choose one action and do. But the goal of the life universally remains the same. That is why Lord Krishna has given a formula, the process of karma yoga. In next shloka, yoga saha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddhya siddhyoho samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. What is the meaning of yoga saha kuru karmani? Arjuna, perform your duties established in yoga, renouncing attachment and even tempered in success and failure. Evenness of temper is called yoga. So yoga sthaha. What is the meaning of yoga sthaha? Be rooted to your muri of discrimination. That is yoga sthaha. To remember that I have a choice and freedom only in doing action, but I have no choice in the matter of the result of the action. To be seated in that, to be able to work with that conviction all the time means yoga sthaha. So you do your action, yoga sthaha kuru karmani, sangam tyaktva. What is the meaning of sangha? If we do the action, the result of the action will follow. Like the tail of the dog always follows dog. Then what do we have to leave? Sangam tyaktva. Sangam tyaktva means shift your attachment from external material growth to inner spiritual growth. Mind is an emotional existence. Mind wants only to get attached. Mind knows only to exercise its emotion with respect to something. So now the mind is focused on, attached to the external growth. So replace that object of attachment for the mind. Give the mind a new toy. What is that? Inner spiritual growth. Start loving the inner spiritual growth. So even if we do one action, externally we have failed, maybe we have lost some money and we did not get whatever we wanted. But we have to see whether in that particular situation, whether I have grown internally, whether there was anything for me to learn. Because in our life, our success depends upon the right decision. The capability, the ability to achieve, to be able to take the right decision, it depends upon how well we learn from our wrong decisions, from our past experiences. So, whether my wrong decisions in life has been able to give me the experience and learning, and based on those experiences and learning, I'm able to take the right decision today. All these things will not possible unless I am even tempered. So what is samatvam? Siddhya siddhyoho samo bhutva. Don't give undue importance to success. Don't give undue importance to failure than they deserve. It doesn't mean that we will become insensitive. It doesn't mean that we will not feel bad. But don't allow them to overpower you. Siddhya siddhyoho samo bhutva. You remain equanimous. We have to maintain the samatvam, equanimity of the mind. That is called yoga. So again, going to the first line, yoga sthaha. What is yoga sthaha? By remaining calm, even-tempered, grounded, rooted, balanced-minded, on the face of success and failure. Do your karma. That means remember that I am doing action that is a choiceful platform for me. And after that, I am landing on the result of the action that is a choiceless platform for me. If we are able to remember these two things, so wherever I have the full freedom, don't refrain from giving your the maximum, the fullest. Apply yourself to the best of your capability, ability, and possibilities. Don't refrain from that. And wherever the situation is beyond my control, it is a choiceless situation. Mentally be ready to accept it as they are so that you are able to preserve your peace of mind, stability of the mind, and you are able to move on. Sangam tyaktva dhananjaya. Because Lord Krishna is saying that no work in this whole universe is big or less. Samatvam is at two levels. One level is where we have to accept success and failure in the same manner. That means don't give undue importance to them so that you are overpowered by them and you become dysfunctional. And second, with regard to action, no action is big or small. Action is a vehicle on which we can travel and we can reach our goal. So whether I'm doing this action or that action, don't compare. Give your best and attain the fulfillment of the human. Yogasthah kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddhya siddhyoho samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. So what is the art of doing right, art of doing the right activity or the right art of doing the activity? The first is understand what is the prohibited, what are the prohibited karma, what are the prescribed karma. One has to be active. We cannot take to inaction. So withdrawal is not the way of life. It will not land us anywhere. Then no action is big or small. Choose it according to your own mental makeup, your own orientation, your capability, possibility. Because many times we are capable of doing much more, but the situation doesn't allow us. So in a given situation, whatever best possible we are able to do, we have to do. Always preserve your peace of mind. Because whatever action we do, before the final result comes to us, there are many other factors that contribute to it. I have also contributed to it by doing my part. So we have to gracefully accept it, whatever happens. Yoga Saha, then attain the samatvam of the mind and carry on. Attain liberation, attain the fulfillment of life. In fact, the fulfillment is in the process itself. Siddhya siddhyoho samo bhutva. So whatever happens will happen, isn't it? But the fulfillment doesn't wait for the result to come.
Correct.
So the whole life becomes a beautiful journey.
Mataji, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
now we have these 4 varnas, right? Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. And all of us are ordained to do those activities. So that becomes a swadharma actually. So, of course, I will have to say that they're all done not to differentiate people based on caste or varna, but for a social order to be maintained. So, while saying that, what if, suppose if a Brahmin wants to get into the army, so he's leaving his Swadharma and working for the country, right? Or say a Kshatriya or a Vaishya wants to take to a more sattvic life or, go into more contemplation, something like a sannyasi or whatever. So there is a deviation from their Swadharma. So is it wrong to do that, or I mean, what does the Gita say about it? Suppose if I have to do, if a Brahmin wants to become, become an army man or joins the forces, he's going to serve his country, but he is leaving his swadharma of the regular, duties that he has to do, like Sandhya Vandanam or Vedic studies. Even now people also, they are going into technological, they have become engineers, while actually Brahmins are supposed to be teachers and researchers. Of course, there are people who do research, but what if they want to go into a different field where they have to give up their swadharma? Is it right or wrong?
So, Vasudha, you have raised a very good question, very pertinent question, but it needs more time. So, anyway, I will try to answer. See, in 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna has told that Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam guna karma vidhadashaha. I have created the Chaturvarna. It has been created by me and it is based on guna and karma. And not on jati. We do the mistake of mixing it both. So the question also has the same flavor. A jati brahmana can be a very great kshatriya because of his predominant nature of rajas in him. Okay, so nowadays, because of our upbringing, we have different varna now. We have varnas of doctors, we have varnas of engineers. Earlier, we used to have only Vaidyans. They were doing only that and nothing else. That is why in our discussion, in the previous discussion, I have said that what is Swadharma? Swadharma is the lifestyle that is conducive to my own nature, that is harmonious with my way of thinking, level of energy, orientation, and state of life, that and it should not be in conflict with anything. So if we are able to, and earlier when Brahmanas were, they used to be priests and they used to be preaching, their money part, the king used to take care of them. Nowadays they have to work. And what will they do? Whatever work is available, they are doing. So Karma Yoga also says that do the work that you like, that is according to your own orientation, so that you don't have any conflict. But if you are not able to get one, try to love the work that you happen to do. Isn't it?
Yeah.
So Brahmanas used to be satisfied with whatever little they used to get. Are we ready to live that kind of life nowadays?
So my question is, do we
So
because we are not behaving like how Brahmins, not only Brahmins, because Kshatriyas are not the way. I wouldn't want to single out one varna. Everybody. Vaishya is not a true Vaishya, Kshatriya is not a true Kshatriya. So do we accrue sin because of that? Or
No,
how?
we don't.
We don't. Okay.
See, the sinfulness is also the product of the mind. After when you are doing something and you yourself feel very small
Hmm.
in your heart, by doing something, if you are feeling incomplete, you are feeling very uh, small about yourself,
Hmm.
then it is sinfulness.
Okay.
Okay. See, Varna, for our convenience, we made it into Jati.
No,
It is
Mataji, I
like
don't have.
outsourcing people in big companies now.
Mhm.
Outsourcing people in big companies now. Each, at the end of each year, they renew it, isn't it? So we also have to see what tendencies we are born with. There are people, maybe somebody is born in the family of a Brahmana, but by all means, he's a Pakka Shudra because of his own nature and the gunas. So what is Varna? Varna is the color. Color is the nature. Nature is decided by the environment in which we are born, the family in which we are born, our upbringing. So many things are there. But yes, to make a complete society, to make a whole society, we need everybody.
Okay.
We cannot have only Brahmanas, we cannot have only Shudras, we cannot have only Kshatriyas.
Correct.
We need to have all. Earlier in villages, whatever work was being done by barber, that community will only do that work and they will not go out of that.
Correct.
So there was a social security.
Correct.
But nowadays it is not that. So now how we are regulating the existence of the whole society through entrance exams. If you clear the entrance, you're eligible to become engineer or doctor. So Varna and other things, it doesn't come.
Correct.
But then also it depends who is attempting the entrance exams.
Okay.
So it's quite a debatable subject.
Yeah. Maybe we
And
should take it as a
let's
separate
say,
session because I have many questions
yeah,
relating to this. So
yeah.
maybe another
I
opportunity
remember
to
very
discuss
often
more.
you raise this question.
Yeah.
Yes.
It keeps
We
haunting me
should. I
actually.
think we can do it separately.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think viewers would have got a rough idea about what right activities and what the attitude of activity should be so that we remain calm and peaceful within ourselves. We will meet you all with another interesting session next week. So I thank Mataji for spending her time for all these sessions so far, and I'm sure it's benefiting all those who are seeing these videos. So Mataji, shall I end it, Mataji?
Yeah, please, Vasudha, we shall.
वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओं सर्वं श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु हरि ओं माताजी I request all of you to
Hari
post
Om.
your
Hari Om,
questions.
Prabhu.
I request all of you to please post your questions in the comment section so that Mataji will take it up in the next session. Hari Om Mataji.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Yeah.